Hi, I'm Ashley Swartz, CEO and founder of Furious Minds. You can email me at ashley@furious-minds.com if you have comments or thoughts. So I wanted to talk today about an Ad Age article that was published yesterday, which would be the 22nd of May, entitled Cable Companies Chafe as Low-Rated Channels Change Names. So I sort of think there's a sea change coming for as content continues to reign king and the barriers of commissioning content are becoming lower and lower. It's going to be a new day, right? So the biggest fear in TV for everyone, from the cable providers to the programmers, is unbundling. It's why Apple sort of has struggled to create a television platform that has kind of that same parity of a cable MSO, because they want to unbundle, and fundamentally their business model will substantially disrupt television as we know it. And look, at the end of the day, programmers may make money from advertising, but their bread is still buttered and will continue to be buttered by that subscription revenue that comes from their carriage agreements. At this year's upfronts, at least 6 cable channels have announced that they're going to be rebranding or renaming themselves, right? And I think the idea is, and as we've sort of all agreed in the industry, it's to extract more revenue, because they're forcing these secondary networks to be bundled with their core broadcast networks. And at the end of the day, it's the cable providers that are forced to pay for this, right? The idea is they can force this, they're forcing the bundling, and they're going to extract more value from the TV ecosystem by slowly ratcheting up their subscription revenues per user, because they're offering some exclusive content or unique content on that channel. NBC and News Corp were one of the 2 big ones that are all leveraging their sort of bargaining power for these channels. And at the end of the day, they didn't have really a lot of conversations with the cable providers, which is why they're a bit chafed, right? So they're being forced to take these, and the question is, will the cable providers eat it and will it hit their margin, or alternatively, will the cost be passed on to subscribers, which is sort of what everybody has been suggesting is going to be the case. So my struggle is, after kind of digesting this and thinking through it, is that I'm not sure if this is hubris or desperation, right, of programmers. So are they sort of so egotistical that if they make it, then cable operators will be forced to take it? Or is this really a sign of desperation that they keep rebranding themselves, adding additional cable networks with just minimal marginal improvement in content or additional value, to force that their subscription revenue is ratcheted up, because there's more and more ever compromised by what's happening with TV everywhere and video everywhere, and what that means to their core advertising revenue. So it's a new day for TV, right? From new Xbox to Netflix and Amazon and over-the-top players sort of doubling down on content. Content is more and more a business lever to drive subscribers, and there is cannibalization occurring from traditional cable subscription offerings to that of over the top, and we are seeing attrition go from those that have the set-top box in their living room and content that is delivered linearly through cable network to pure over the top players like Netflix and Amazon, because of the investments they're making, and none of them have advertising, right? So Netflix and Amazon are doubling down, right? And in the NewFronts this year, we saw over 100 new digital programs being announced from the likes of Hulu, Yahoo, YouTube, and AOL, right? This is a new day for TV. It's not TV everywhere, it's video everywhere. And at the end of the day, the economics of content continue to change. It becomes less and less expensive to produce good high-definition content. And as that cost of production decreases, there are more players that can enter the market. The barriers to entry are less, and that means it's that much easier for folks to actually license content, or commission content rather, and deploy it through their exclusive distribution network, whether that's a set-top box with cable infrastructure behind it, or it's an over-the-top application environment. So what's this all mean, right? The business of cable is changing. We know that. What's interesting is that infrastructure and price have become table stakes, right? So, how we gain new subscribers is typically through direct price offers rather in market. But exclusive content is more and more ever increasingly going to be part of the game, and required to be a value proposition that cable providers and MSOs bring to the table. DirecTV was one of the first markets to come with it. They've come big with a lineup of about, I think, 8 programs this season. I saw a 30-second spot while I was watching network television at my mom's house a few weeks ago. So now the cable providers are beginning to recognize that if they commission their own content, they make that investment, it could potentially be an incredible hedge against the marginally increasing subscription revenue expectations of major broadcasters in the Big 5. What makes me happy about all this, however, is not just the intellectual challenge of it, but storytelling is winning. And at the end of the day, content continues to reign king, and good content will drive audience. And now that we're living in this pure IP over the top world, it is much easier for stories to be seen and told, and for revenue to be generated for storytelling. Thanks. Let me know if you have comments or questions.